What is up, guys? Spork is back with another yearly upload. And we're doing a tier list again because I don't know what else. I'm fucking bored as shit. So we're doing this. Game of Thrones characters tier list. Last time we did The Walking Dead. A lot of characters have came out since the Walking Dead season 11 release because of the two new spin-offs that followed it, which Dead City was pretty mid, but Daryl Dixon was pretty darn good. I'll give him that. And the Rick and Michonne, they are just pumping them out. They are just pumping them out. I don't know why. The Ones Who Live, the Rick and Michonne show, is coming out in February. Just a couple months. Usually it takes a year or two for TV shows to come out with seasons. Fucking AMC, they don't give a shit. They do not care. They're just pumping them out. They want that money really bad. And I can't argue with it. I can't disrespect it. But anyways, Game of Thrones characters, starting off with Alistair Thorne. He was a pretty good character. I'd give him it. He's a pretty good character. He was a kind of a fork in the road for Jon's story. And he had a lot of impact on his character. A tier. S tier, no fucking way. There's gonna be I'm gonna do a lot of dick sucking in this one. There's a lot of good characters here. There's a lot of good characters in this show. But I'm seeing on this tier list a lot of irrelevant ones too. A lot of irrelevant ones. But still a bunch of awesome characters in this show. Definitely more than The Walking Dead. Walking Dead's still my favorite show, but I can't lie, the Game of Thrones characters were 10 times better. Anyway, this guy, don't fucking know who he is. If I don't know who he is, I've watched Game of Thrones twice. If I don't know who he is, then he's fucking irrelevant. F tier. F tier for irrelevant. I deadass not know who he is. This guy was the Grand Maester at the Citadel, I believe. He was pretty wise, I guess, but he was kind of dumb at the same time, you know? Like, he was educated, but common sense, he was pretty stupid. He was a pretty mid character. We didn't get a lot from him. And he was also a season, 7, 8 character, so we don't, Okay, this is the guard in Dorne, the big dude with the axe. We don't even fuck. He didn't say, he said maybe 3 words and then died. Good for him. Arya, S tier character. She is my personal favorite in the show, just based on enjoyment. I don't think she's the best written character in the show. Okay, so don't fucking come at me, but her story was really enjoyable. A lot of people didn't like her storyline in, what's it called? What's the city called? Bravos. They didn't like her city, or they didn't like her storyline in Bravos. I thought that shit was really cool though. I don't know why that got so much hate. Anyways, the leader of the Greyjoys, we're putting him in a B tier. A B tier. We didn't see a lot of him, but he was what you would expect from the leader of such a violent group. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely that. Barristan Selmy, A tier. He's up there with the Sir Alistair Thorne, 100%. If not better than Alistair Thorne. We'll put him like this, because he's better than Alistair Thorne. See, we'll range him in order too, within the tiers to make yeah. Or I'll do my best. There's 10,000 characters. But Barristan Selmy, one of the greatest fighters in the show, if not the best one. Benjen. Again, not much from him. One season he was in a couple episodes in the first season. You know, he had some screen time, but other than that, he had, he returned twice when we saw him save Brandon, and then we saw him save Jon. Impactful character, but at the same time, not a lot going on with him. There was no character development. He was just kind of there. But yeah, Sir Derek Sir Sir Derek? Is it Derek? It's like Derek Dondarrion. I think that's exactly what his name is. That sounds like a fucking joke, but I think that's his name. He was a pretty cool character. We'll put him in A tier. Um, he was the guy that got rezzed like 8 times. Who knows? And the way he ended was so goofy. It was so goofy in my opinion. Like the Lord of Light rezzed him like 8 times, right? And I think his purpose was to save Arya at the final battle at Winterfell, and that was it. But it's like you get rezzed 8 times just to save her in that one instance. I don't. That doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, off to Brandon. I mean, I hated watching him every second he was on the show. Fuck Brandon. Fuck Brandon. Do not like Brandon. His story was so boring. His story was the most boring in the show. It was the most boring story in the show. I hated it. He was crippled the whole time. Fuck you. You deserve to be. What's her name? Jesus, the blonde lady. Oh my god, how do I not know it? I literally... Actually, I've watched Game of Thrones 3 times, haven't I? Already. Damn, what is her fucking name? Brienne. Brienne of Tarth. I don't know how I didn't remember that. Out of all these 4, I would put her at the very front. I think she is definitely a high tier character. A lot of twists and turns, but at the same time, she was kind of wasted potential in a lot of situations. But still good. Still good. Fuck, what's his name? Sir Bronn. Sir Bronn. We'll put him at B. He was funny, but other than that, like, he really... He contributed a lot. He had a lot of screen time, but, like, you know, he was the guy that would say dick and balls and the audience would laugh. You know, that was pretty much... That was his whole ordeal, you know. This is the guy that the Hound liked. He was in one episode, F tier. He was pretty cool, you know, but like, one episode, alright? Why the fuck is he even on the tier list? I think there's gonna be a lot of characters on this tier list that I'm just gonna skip over. Yeah. The Blackfish. The Blackfish. We didn't see much of him. We didn't see a lot of any. We didn't see, like, apart from the main cast of Game of Thrones, we did not see a lot because there's so many characters. Like, it's like The Walking Dead, where there was like a few that had a shit ton of screen time and then a lot of them didn't. What would we rate him? I'd put him at D. You know, like, he didn't have that much on the story. The last, like, stand at Riverrun in season 7, that was pretty much his prime point of screen time, I would say. Or maybe in Rob's storyline, maybe. But, you know, he was like your average, like, you know, like, Republican, like, hate your son unless he's strong dad, you know. Pretty generic shit. Alright, and anyway. Catelyn Stark. A tier. Would we put her... Yeah, we'd probably put her here. I think the ending of her character was really fucking interesting, because, like, she was nice, you know? Like, she was very filled with empathy and reasoning and stuff like that, but at the very end, when her son's life was, like, at risk and danger, she just slit that innocent girl's throat with no hesitation. I think that writing was really good, because it shows, like, how impactful death is on a person. Like, you know, she saw her son die, and she just didn't care what happened to her when she died, I guess, which was kind of cool. And it kind of just killed her character. Like, you know, she just changed at that last second. She was alive. Like, she just was like a monster at the end there. S tier. S tier for Cersei. I hate Cersei as much as the next guy. Fuck her. I hope her period cramps were the worst. You know, you can't really deny that. Obviously, she was the main threat of the show. She was alive the whole time, which was kind of hurt. You know, it kind of hurt that she was alive for that long, and her death wasn't satisfying. You know, it wasn't. She died very, like, her ending was shit, just like everyone's in season 8 was, but um, like, she was very consistent throughout the whole show. I think her character was one of the few that didn't get ruined in season 8. Like, she had a bad ending at the very end, like the very last episode, but like throughout the whole show, she stayed really good, really good character. The incest guy, he, I don't know what his deal was, but fuck him, you know, fuck that guy. He wasn't even well written. He was just like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. He was kind of just like filler, you know. He was kind of just filler. I guess he started Samwell's and Gilly's relationship, but other than that, not much to say. Actually, he did kind of contribute in this guy's death. What's his name? I don't know. We'll get to that. I'll remember it by then. Alright, anyways. Son of a bitch, what's this guy's name? Dario Naharis, that's his name. Kind of, like, he was trying, they were trying to get that quirky fucking fuckboy kind of thing going with this character. I didn't like him that much. We'll put him in B tier, though. I think he deserves a B tier. But me personally, he's kind of an annoying little dickhead, little cunt. Daenerys Targaryen. Okay, so we're getting a lot of the good characters already. I would think in between every good character there'd be like 10 like irrelevant ones. But Daenerys. I'll put her in S tier, but she's not as good as these two in my opinion. She really, like, in terms of personal enjoyment, Daenerys wasn't one that I enjoyed watching all that much. Like her Marine storyline, I think she made a lot of mistakes along the way that you would not expect someone like her to make. And she wasn't, like, she showed a lot of, like, she wasn't really reasonable at sometimes. And it's just like, I just didn't like her as like a leader. I just wish she wasn't the one, you know? But like, it's kind of cool for the story. But like, at the same time, like, I think there could have been way cooler options. Actually, probably not way cooler options, but like, I wish she was just different, you know? This guy, he was one of the Greyjoys. He helped take over Winterfell. I don't know his name. There's probably one instance in where they say it, considering he has a couple episodes. I don't even think he dies. He just disappears. It's just one of those guys. There's a lot of characters in the show that do this as well. They just disappear. Like, you just don't see them. Okay. I don't know why I just had a fucking stroke for a second. My bad. Anyways, Sir Davos. I liked Sir Davos a lot. We'll put him in A. I really liked him. He was one of those funny characters that I actually liked. A lot of times in these, like, serious, more dramatic shows, the funny characters can be, like, a little annoying at times. But anyways, I like funny characters, obviously, but this was one of the better ones in the show for sure. Dickon, that's his name, because I knew it was something stupid as shit. This is Sir Penis of Hornhill, I think. Yeah. Sir Penis. This is Samwell's brother, who got recasted in season 7, I believe. He got torched, and he didn't really do anything. F tier. He didn't really do anything. Alright, let's be honest. And he was kind of a generic son. A generic, like, honorable son. I didn't like him. The drunk guy. You know, he had a lot of impact for what, you know, like, he's kind of underrated. You know, he had a lot of impact. I would put him, like, higher F tier. Higher F tier. Probably not above Brandon. I'll put Brandon at the top of the F tier list, just because he is the main character, but, like, at the same time, fuck Brandon. He gave, what's it called? He technically helped kill Joffrey. He gave Sansa the poison, and someone snagged the poison from her, I think. I don't know how that worked, but poison on Sansa's necklace, that was the end of the story. This guy, I actually really like this guy. This was the prince of Dorne before retard killed her. Yeah, or killed him. This girl. We'll get to her later. I do not like her. Anyways, I like this guy. He was very reasonable, you know? He was a very smart man, and if he led Dorne, he could have changed the story a little bit. I think Dorne was kind of a killed opportunity. It really was. And it was very not well done. Anyways, who is this? I think this is one of the whores in season 1 who tries to get with the leader of Karth for money. You know, respect the hustle. Too bad. She this was one of the examples of Daenerys just being overly cruel for no reason. I don't know why, but she left her and then the leader of Karth. They basically did nothing. I don't know exactly what they did, but it wasn't that impactful for the punishment that they were given. She locked him in a dark room with no exit for them to starve to death. That was the punishment for whatever, them having sex, I guess. I don't know. She just had sex with the dude that did the bad thing. So she got the same punishment as the dude that did the bad thing. I don't know why. But anyways, Eddard Stark. I'd be kind of dumb not to put him in S tier. I mean, like, he's the main guy in season 1. We thought he was going to be the main character, and one of the bigger plot twists in the show. You know, him dying off. Very, I don't know, nothing much to say about him. Very good story, very good ending, and he left a very big impact on the rest of the show. Like, pretty much the whole war was on his death, so makes sense. One of the Night's Watch guys, I don't remember his exact name. I don't remember his name. There's a lot of characters in this show. Give me a break. Okay. I don't remember his name. I don't. I liked him though. We'll put him in B. He was kind of like, he made fun of Samwell, and that's all you really need to be. To be and be. That's all you really need to do. This is the Blackfish's son. Actually, I think it's his nephew. I don't think it's his son. But I will put him in B tier. Just because he had like he had a bigger impact than people like thought, you know. He helped take over River Run. He was kind of the main reason that it was taken over. He was just scared, you know. He was just scared. A scared little guy. But at the same time, you know. Good character, good impact on the story. This bitch. No. Fuck this girl. She was so, like, vengeful for no reason. Like, when her husband died, Oberyn, when he died, she just decided, you know what, I'm gonna kill a bunch of innocent people. And she did it. She killed a bunch of innocent people. Would that be what her husband wanted? Of course fucking not. She killed his brother. She killed his brother, and she killed earlier, I remember this exact instance, earlier in the show before she killed the prince, she was like, what did she say? Or no, like, Oberyn was like, we don't kill little girls in Dorne. And then that's exactly what she does when he dies. Anyways, this guy, the lamest excuse for a villain, this guy right here, Euron Greyjoy. F tier character. Not as bad as her. Not as bad as her. And we'll put him, like, more at the top of this, just because he's, like, a main villain. But, he was a pretty lame excuse for one. He was just, like, crazy, you know? I think in the books he was supposed to be, like, really strong, really scary guy. But in this, he's just, like, some fucking crazy jokester. Like, he's literally the Joker. It's fucking stupid. This guy, you know, decent impact, kind of. He was Rob's bastard. What was his name? The fucking Flash. He was the Flash, in season 7, when that dumbass thing happened beyond the wall. That episode, that was just a clusterfuck. They were going to get a White Walker. He ran to the wall, told them to send a raven to Daenerys to bring a dragon over to help, and she brought it all the way over, knew their exact location for who knows how. And yeah, she saved the day. Decent impact, kind of. D tier. Gilly, D tier as well. Damn, I didn't realize how many. I thought there would be a lot more better characters, but like they're putting in filler characters. I'm not gonna say much about the filler characters. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible with what I'm given. Green Master Pyso. He was kind of just a joke throughout the whole show. He was like everyone's punching bag. I don't know why he stayed on the council if he was that shitty. But yeah, B tier. You know, he didn't really do much, but at the same time, he was in the show the whole time. Yeah. The Mountain. B tier. Put him in B tier. One of the best fighters in the show as well. He was a big ass motherfucker. And that's pretty much why he was good, you know. Sometimes that's all you gotta be. Anyways. Gren, I think his name is. One of the Night's Watch boys. He was a pretty enjoyable character to watch. I'll put him in B tier. He's pretty enjoyable. I liked him. He died to the big Shrek motherfucker. Unfortunate. Sorry, man. Anyways, Grey Worm. There'll probably be some weird motherfucker who's like, Grey Worm has such a good romantical story. No. We're putting him in the F tier. You know why? Because he sucks. It's like a robot. You know? It would be kind of cool if he gained, like, some sort of personality or something, but he's just a robot who, you know, very, like, he's very open in like, you know, like, freedom, I'm all about freedom, and then blindly follows Daenerys' orders even though she's a piece of shit. The, like the fruity guy from Marine. I don't remember his name. He had a weird name. Decent character. Decent character in the show. He kind of held back Daenerys in a lot of situations. He was a pretty smart guy. Very charismatic. We'll put him in the B tier. Hodor. He literally said Hodor the entire show. Don't argue that he's a good character. He said Hodor the entire show. He said Hodor the entire show. He had 100 lines, if that. Hodor, every single one. At least this guy, like this cast. Technically, child version of Hodor said a couple things other than Hodor, but Hodor is pretty much what his character was. Arya called him Hot Pie. I don't know his real name. He didn't really do much. He was a bully at the start, and then he was like, you know, he became part of the boys. F tier. I mean, he really didn't give much to the show. You know what I'm saying? You know, funny chubby guy. We'll put him in D. Fuck it. This is the season 1 guy. I think his name was Ilario, something like that. I think it was Ilario. But he was one of Varys' first spies that we saw. He was one of the first instances, and he had a big impact on the show. He technically was a cause of Daenerys' son's death, so he had some pretty big impact. We'll put him like high D tier, not B tier, but high D tier. Yeah, this is the guy that killed Eddard Stark. He beheaded him. I don't know how he died. He didn't really do much. He killed Eddard. F tier. He literally said, I don't think he said a single word. I think he was one of those guys who just didn't talk. You know, good for him, I guess. This was one of the actors, F tier. Nothing to say about him. He had one scene. Why is he even here? Jaime Lannister. We're putting him in the S tier. Finally, a good character. Jaime Lannister, probably, if not the best, best written character in the show. He had the most interesting dynamics and twists, and he was a very complicated character. One of the best ones, if not the best written character in the show. Nothing much to say about him other than he is the GOAT. This guy. He's the commander of the city. What? He was a pussy. But you know what? He had some impact on the Night's Watch story. Put him like mid D tier. He didn't have any impact on the Night's Watch story, did he? Not really. He kind of helped the Lannisters. He was just a greedy son of a bitch. Okay, we'll put him like high B tier. What was his name? I mean, technically, he's no one. Corny ass motherfucker, but anyways, he was still really cool. He helped Arya escape. That whole scene was sick. That whole thing at Harrenhal I thought was really cool. When Arya was what's his name's steward or whatever. I thought that was really cool. Okay. Ooh, we have like a little A tier character here. This is Alistair Thorne. No, this is not Alistair Thorne. This is he was a Mormont. Jeor Mormont. That was his name. He died at Craster's Keep by a bunch of traitors. Bunch of fucking traitors. He died. Yeah, he kind of made... He was the original owner of Longclaw. Technically not the original owner. But in the show, he was the first one to hold it. And he gave it to Jon Snow, and he kind of made Jon Snow into the leader he was, that he became. He was a very big impact on the story. High A tier, probably not as high as these two. But, yes. What's his name? Joffrey? Fuck you. We'll put him in A tier, though. Because you just hate the motherfucker throughout the whole show, and his death is, oh my god. No lube needed to come to that scene. Anyways. What a fucking dumb-ass comment that was. Anyways. F-tier character. He was the, warg that taught Brandon he was a warg. I don't care. And he was a bit fruity. Jon Snow. S-tier character. Is that even... like, debatable? No it is not. One of the best characters in the show. Not my favorite in the show, but he was still a very good character and a very good protagonist to follow. You know, he had his moments where he wanted his revenge and whatnot, and he got it. Overall, good character, good journey, good story. Not good ending, unfortunately. Jorah. I'll put him in S tier. He kind of made Daenerys into who she was. And he was a very big impact on the story at Meereen. And Tyrion's story as well. He led him to Daenerys or whatever the fuck. Very big impact. Kind of underrated character, to be honest. Actually, I don't know if he was underrated. He's pretty properly rated. He's good. This is the guy that helps Eddard Stark. A tier, just because he was cool. You know, he was a cool guy. What can you say? This is the guy that killed, I believe. He was one of the... he's like an assassin guy from Flea Bottom. But, yeah, he was really skilled. Not skilled enough. Kind of an interesting character, to be honest. We'll put him D tier. He killed Jeor. Kind of gives him some impact. I think he killed Jeor. It could be. He was the one that led the rebellion that killed Jeor, so whatever. It counts. This is, one of the Lannisters. I think it's, Tywin's brother, I believe. I liked him. Mid B tier. He told Cersei off a lot, and, you know, you gotta respect that. Fuck. Aquaman. Forgot his name. Drogo, called Drogo. Daenerys names one of her dragons after him. Fucking weird character. I'm gonna put him like low B tier. Not as low as like some of these characters, but I'm just, you know, not being specific. You know, he's just lower B tier. Anyways. He had decent impact on the show. But I didn't understand his relationship with Daenerys and why Daenerys liked him. Like, he raped her, like, 4 times before they had consensual sex. It's like forced consensual sex is what it felt like the first time. this is the call after Drogo. He didn't really do much. Mid D tier, I guess. He kind of led Daenerys to get the Dothraki army, though, so sure. This guy, F tier, he was the one that sold the Unsullied to Daenerys, and then Daenerys killed him. Nothing much. Same with this girl. She was the actress that helped Arya. Don't even know her fucking name. Yeah. This guy, fuck you. This guy, he technically, like, he was part of the show for a while. He had actually a decent amount of screen time. He became one of the High Sparrow people. He was just a loony bin, you know? He was a loony bin. He was dumb. He was a fucking dense motherfucker. Tell him that, you know... Tell him the earth is flat, and if he walks fucking far enough, he'll fall off it. Like, he'll believe it. He'll believe it 100%. F tier character. This is also an F tier character, just because we don't see her that much. She was part of the children, who were, like, they're very distant ancestors to humans, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know the whole lore. I've never read the books. But anyway, this guy, he cut off Jaime Lannister's hand. He was kind of an interesting character. We'll put him, like, B tier. He was a very interesting character, and he joined the Night's Watch in, like, a spy mission to... Was it to kill Jon Snow? I think it was to find Brandon Stark, because he knew that Brandon Stark would eventually go to the Wall. And he found him, but the wolf got him. Or did Hodor? No, Hodor. Brandon took over Hodor and killed him. That's what happened. But, yeah. He was a very interesting character. He was just evil, motherfucker, greedy. Like everyone else. The gay guy. The gay guy that liked, he liked the guy's name that starts with a B. One of the Baratheons. Renly Baratheon. His last name started with a B. Anyway, gay guy. One of the Tyrells. Loras Tyrell. B tier. Where'd he go? B tier. Not much to say about him. He was imprisoned by the High Sparrow. Fuck the High Sparrow. Also a boring story that I fucking hated. Anyway. Ellie, The Last of Us, fuck. Mormont. What's her name? God, why can I not fucking remember these names? I don't know. How the fuck do I not know this one? It's just like, she's called Lady Mormont like 10 times throughout the show. I don't know, she was a pretty cool character though. We'll put her B. Just because she was cool. Like, every scene she had, she was like sick. She was like the most honorable, smartest 9-year-old you'll ever meet. Cool character. This is the breastfeeding lady, Catelyn's sister, Lysa, I believe her name was. D tier. Weird as fuck. Weird. D tier. She breastfed her 13-year-old child. Okay? Or he was like maybe 10. Still. No breastfeeding at 10 years old. The Tyrell guy. He was technically the leader of the Tyrells, but he was a dunce. D tier. Dunce, like the worst Tyrell. The Tyrells are such a cool family. I liked like a lot of them. This guy, the goofball. Fucking goofball. Anyway. One of the last Targaryens. A tier. Very wise man. Very interesting character. With a very cool backstory. He was one of the last Targaryens. And he's just got good insight on a lot of things. This guy, he was the Maester at Winterfell. Probably B tier. He had a lot of impact on like Brandon and the children of Winterfell. You know, like Arya and whatever. He was a pretty interesting guy. Pretty generic guy, but we'll put him in B anyway. The King Beyond the Wall. Mance Rayder. That's his name. Mance Rayder. He led the cannibals and the thieves and the murderers and shit. Everyone hated his kind. But, you know, they hated everyone else is kind as well. But very good character. A tier. Mid A tier. Maybe even higher A tier character. Very he died for his pride. He would have led his people, but he didn't. So yeah. Marjorie Tyrell. How much time are we at? I can't even see. I don't know. Anyways, Marjorie Tyrell, very good character. S tier. The master manipulator. The master top tier manipulator. She could fucking do it. She was the goat at manipulating. I don't know what her deal was, but like Joffrey fucking Tommen. If you need someone manipulated, just, marry them to her. Easy as that. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? I have no idea who that is. F tier. Irrelevant. This bitch F tier. I mean, like, she was this guy's brother, and she had the same exact purpose as him. Girl power. Good for her. Mid F tier. Why not? The Red Woman. Ooh. Like mid A tier. Very big impact on the show with Stannis's story. Very interesting. Very interesting. I wish they would do more on, like, it would be kind of cool if they made a spin-off on, like, the Lord of Light. Like, who, like, how the fuck was he even created? You know? Probably goes back, like, thousands of years. It wouldn't be that fun of a show. Anyway. The pedophile guy. Yay. Pedophile. D. Who cares? Anyways, the witch that killed Daenerys' son, I believe. You know what? Fuck that kid. That kid probably would have been shit. B tier. D tier. I mean, she didn't do much other than that. But she was an interesting character. I felt like she was interesting. Pretty smart too, that she was able to pull that off. Missandei, D tier. She doesn't do much. She advises Daenerys even though she doesn't fucking advise. She translates. That's it. Anyway, Ramsay's girlfriend. Forgot her name. Kinda hot. We'll put her more on the 6, 7-ish scale. 7. Pretty 7. Yeah. Kinda cool. Kinda like Ramsay. Just very weird, very violent, very goofball-like. You know? D tier. I don't care. The little girl that the bitch killed. Lannister. What's her first name? Myrcella. That's what it was. Myrcella Lannister. Put her like mid-ish D tier because we didn't see a lot of her, but at the same time, like her ending was pretty good. How she was killed was ridiculous, but like her end talk scene with Jaime Lannister is pretty good. It was a pretty well written, or a pretty well constructed scene in my opinion. This bitch, one of the Dornish women that want revenge for Oberyn, just blindly follows her mother. Her mother, I don't think it's actually her mother, but they call her that because they're fucking weird. Fuck Dorne. Same thing with this bitch. She is the same thing. Oberyn, the only good Dornishman, apart from the prince. High A tier. I wouldn't put him at Catelyn Brienne level, but we'll put him there. He wanted revenge, but he didn't want an unethical revenge, like, this bitch. Where did she go? I put her in F tier, didn't I? Yeah, this bitch. But, yeah, he was a very well-constructed character. Very good. Marjorie. Not Marjorie, fuck me. Olenna. S tier. I loved Olenna, dude. Every scene she was in, like, her writing wasn't that crazy, but at the same time, like, she was just really cool. She was like on Varys' level. She was just super smart, and like clever, funny, just a fun character to watch for a show like this for sure. little kid, like high-ish F tier, I guess. He was gonna be like John's like little guy, little servant guy, I guess. I don't what steward, I guess. Um, he had potential, I think, but he kind of ruined it. You know, he stabbed John. What's fucking wrong with you? Anyway, gay guy. He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Yeah. He didn't do anything. He helped the fucking High Sparrow. Fuck the High Sparrow. Why are you helping him? Who is this guy? This is the warg that liked the Irish girl. I forgot her name. That John liked. That it was John's love interest. Who the actress? They're both married now, I think. The actor for John and the actress for the ginger. F tier. Actually, he was interesting. Like with John's story, when he was with the wildlings, he actually did, he actually proved like kind of like to be a fork in the road. He was kind of interesting. He gave John's story a little spice when he was with the wildling, a little bit of spice, you know, a little pepper. Anyway, this girl, she was a freak. She was a freak. But her D. Mid D. Midish D tier. Midish lowish D tier. Protected Brandon. She was one of the characters I actually liked in Brandon's story. But other than that, whatever. Lord Baelish. S tier character. He was very, very cool. Very complicated character to understand. A very well written character as well. One of like the most well written characters in the show. One of the most interesting in like fiction that I've watched. His Chaos as a Ladder speech was so fucking awesome, dude. It was such a good way to end that episode. But yeah, just really good character. I want to say a lot of people don't like him, but fucking Big Dick Podrick. Big Dick Podrick. Everyone all the girls loved him. Don't know why, but we'll put him in B tier because he got hoes, and he was kind of a funny little guy, following Brienne around. This guy, what's his name? Actually, we don't know his name. F tier. He got like he was in the show for like literally one scene. It was a pretty good scene that he was in, but it wasn't good because he was in it. Okay, it was only just because the two of the best characters were in the show were in that scene. Anyways. Bald guy at Karth who duplicated himself. F tier. I mean, he posed barely a threat. His magic made no fucking sense considering it barely worked. It didn't even work. Dude, like Jesus Christ. You suck. Worst warlock in existence. Anyways, one of the Night's Watch guys, I think his name is, like, I don't know. He's one of the weaker ones, but he didn't really do much. He wasn't, like, that interesting of a character. F tier, you know. Corin Halfhand. I actually really like this guy. He wasn't in the show a lot. Like, we didn't get a lot from him, but he was really interesting. He was a really good character. Very smart. Yeah. I liked him. John killed him, but only because he wanted him to. He was a very, very interesting guy. I wish we got more of him. This guy posed kind of a threat. You know, he was like pretty smart. He was on the Lannister side for whatever reason. We'll put him in A tier actually. God, what was his name? We met him in Winterfell, and he climbed the fucking ranks, dude. Was it Winterfell? I don't think it was. It was something else. Ramsay, S tier. He was one of the better villains. Not the best villain, but he was the last good one. Went like past season 6 when he died. We got Euron, and we stayed with Cersei, but he was the last good one to die. Before season 7. I think Cersei's a better villain than him, but you know what I mean. Made fun of Samwell. Was Samwell's dad? B tier. He had a decent impact on the show. He helped the Lannisters at the very end. And, yeah. And he was a pretty big influence on Samuel's character. This guy, you know what? I'm gonna put him in high, like low D tier instead of F tier. We didn't get much of him, but he's kind of a douchebag. He was like the bully of the Night's Watch. You know, he was just kind of the Debbie Downer. He made fun of Samuel, which is good. It's great, you know. Renly, A tier, high-ish A tier for sure. Yeah, the best line in the show was by him, the ham line. You know if you know. Very good character. I wish he became the leader. He was like the best. He was the best candidate for leader of Westeros, and he was killed off very, very abruptly, which was fine. I thought his death was fine. Very good character though. This little shit named his dog Shaggy Dog. Shaggy Dog, come over here. I fucking hated that kid and his goofy little face. Fuck you. Anyways, Rob. High A tier. The highest A tier you can go. I'm not going to put him... we'll put him in S. But like low S tier. We got a lot of him. And his story was one of the most fun to follow in the show. And his death was the most surprising death I've ever seen in a TV show. It was definitely the biggest plot twist. The Red Wedding I've ever seen. It was a very well constructed scene, very good scene, very well built up, just all around good. Okay, we're gonna take a break here and get rid of the F tier characters. Actually, we'll put this girl in D. She was Arya's like kind of antagonist in her show or in her story in not Marine Bravos, but she didn't really. She died pretty easily. F tier. This guy barely got any of it. He's like one of the cannibals. This bitch, one of her daughters, didn't like her. The breastfeeding kid, fuck the breastfeeding kid, barely did anything. The pirate, I like the pirate. We'll put him in D. He was kind of a funny little guy, you know, simple working class man. You know, prostitute buying working class man. Like who doesn't do that? This guy, he was. I kind of liked him. I liked him for when he was in the show. He was in the show for a few scenes, but he was a cool little guy. Okay. This girl. This was like, why is she even in the fucking tier list? Get her out. This bitch, she tortured Cersei. She fucking fucked on Cersei. And she died very horribly. Off screen, but I'm guessing it was very bad. This guy got barely anything from him. The Iron Bank guy got barely anything from him. I believe... Oh, okay, well this... we'll put him in high-ish D tier. You know, because he was the biggest threat of the show, technically. Not really, considering he was shut down in literally one episode. But, you know, his build-up was very scary, you know. It made him look scary. Anyway. Any other F-tier characters? I don't see any. This guy, I fucking hate him. One of the worst, annoying, just boring storylines in the whole show. He was the High Sparrow. Fuck him. The bearded guy, I liked the bearded. Okay, we'll start from order now. I don't think there's any F tier. Actually, this girl, she was yeah, she was the mother of Stannis's daughter. But yeah, King Robert, high A tier. High A tier. He was very funny. He has a very interesting backstory from what I've heard, or not from what I've heard, from what I know. I didn't read the books, but I know kind of bit about him. He had a very interesting backstory, very good backstory, and he had a lot of impact on the show. I liked him a lot. This was Ramsay's father. I don't remember his name. Roose Bolton. I didn't really understand his motive. He seemed like more the honorable type. He didn't seem like the greedy, like, for power type guy. I didn't understand. We'll put him in lowish A tier for that. Like, he didn't, like, I thought him betraying the Starks was out of his character, kind of. Like, it just didn't seem like the way he holds himself together, like, it just doesn't seem like that's something he would do. Bearded guy, we'll put bearded guy, like, midish D tier. We didn't get a lot of them, but I liked him. I thought he was kind of cool. This is kind of a hard rate. We'll put him like high-ish D tier. She was one of the whores, but she became Varys' spy, and Peter Baelish found out, and she was in the Chaos is a Ladder speech scene, because Peter Baelish found out and got her killed by Joffrey. Interesting character at the least. Samwell. I hate on Samwell, just because he's fat. Just like a lot of people in the show. Anyway, we'll put him B tier. Put him like minish B tier. I think he deserves that at least. Jon, like, he was a very big influence on Jon. His opinion meant a lot to him. Blah 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 blah. All the boring shit. My voice is fucked right now. I'm trying to get through this quick because my last tier list video was 40 minutes and it was a shorter tier list than this. And I think we are. I don't think I'm successful. S-tier character, the Hound, one of my favorites, top 2 behind Arya. Just very good, honestly. No funny comments about him. He was big dude. Yeah, Sansa. I didn't like Sansa, especially towards the end. Everyone thought she was so fucking smart. Fuck you, you're not smart. I'm not gonna explain in this video why she wasn't smart, but she fucking wasn't, okay? Take my word for it. High-ish B tier, though. No, we'll put her in A tier. I liked her character up until the very end. Anyways. Back to it, Shay. F tier, fuck you. The Dragon Scale girl. I actually really liked her character. We'll put her in B tier. High-ish B tier. She was very intelligent for a little girl, She was a pretty interesting character. Stannis, S tier character. Very good character. Again, one of the more well-written ones in the show, for sure. One of the top dogs in that regard. Very complicated, though. I don't know why he killed his daughter. That was very sad. One of the saddest scenes in the show. I think, if not the saddest scene in the show. It's a very sad scene. Off-putting, Rob's girlfriend. Pretty hot. Minish D tier, I guess. Yeah. Theon, S tier. I think he belongs in the S tier character. His character development is probably one of the biggest. He had the largest change out of any character in the show. He went from the most, like, cocky motherfucker to just scared of everything, back to being like an honorable type guy. I liked this guy. He was one of the drunk guys in the show. A tier. He did just A tier just because he didn't have like a shit ton impact on the story, and he wasn't enjoyable enough to be S tier, but he was still a very nice character. F tier, I should have put it. He was the tree guy. That's all you need to know about him. That's all he fucking did. Tommen. I didn't really like Tommen that much. I think he was too heavily focused on, and he didn't really do anything with the time he was given. Didn't like him. Anyways. And he just killed himself. His death was very interesting, in my opinion. That was probably the best part about his character. Not because he died, just because of, fuck you. I can't talk. What's his fucking name? Tormund. I like Tormund. A tier. A tier character. He's just one of the enjoyable characters in the show. He's funny. He's strong. Good fighter. He fights alongside Jon. Pretty honorable guy. Tyrion. No one can argue he's probably, he's a fan favorite. He's top 3 character probably in the show. Funny, wise. You know, everything you want in a character. Tywin. I'll put him in S tier too. I think I'll put him in S tier. Lower S tier, but definitely S tier. One of the strongest in the show. He did whatever had to be done. He did whatever had to be done, and I respect it. Varys. S tier. He's in my top 3 with Arya the Hound, Varys, Olenna, all them, Tyrion, Baelish, all those guys. He's in my top 5, top 3. Varys. I really liked him. He was a very enjoyable character to me. Very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. And I just agreed with everything he said, you know. It was just, he was good. Viserys. He's kind of a hard one to rate. We didn't see a lot of him, but at the same time, like, he would have been cool if he kept, like, I'm going to put him in, like, lower A tier, just because he would have been cool if he stayed alive. He would have been a cool, like, obstacle in Daenerys' story. But I think they killed him off too quickly, in my opinion. Okay. This guy, he killed all the Starks. We don't like him. But one of the biggest impacts on the story, high D tier. High D tier. Out of any of these guys, I'd put him in the highest D tier, I think. The leader of Karth, one of them. Put him in D tier. Mid-ish D tier. He had an impact on Daenerys' story, and he was kind of interesting. His motive was unclear up until the very end. He was a good character. Pretty okay. Yara, girl power. B tier, I guess. She's pretty respectable most of the time, kind of, most of the time. Most of the time, kinda. You know? The ginger lady. Ygritte. Actor for Ygritte and actor for Jon Snow are both married in real life, fun fact. Interesting character, B. I didn't like her, personally. Didn't like watching her, but interesting character overall. Don't remember his name. Didn't pose much of a... Oh, he was the, one of the guys at the Eyrie. D tier, I guess. This guy was really enjoyable. Up until the very end. B tier. I'll give him B tier. Anyways, this is the final Game of Thrones tier list. I tried to go through it as quick as possible, but there was a million characters. Yeah, I don't know how long this is. We're 57 minutes. Oh, Jesus, this is even longer than the fucking goddamn Walking Dead one. Anyway, I'm done. I'm tired as shit. I try my best.